Hi, hello, beautiful humans. I hope you are wonderful and that you're having a really amazing day. I am just going to wait to see who comes on live with me. If you come on live, just give me a hello. Let me know that you can hear me okay. Hey, Keely. Hey, Lindsay. Hey, Kieran. So great to have you here. I'm so excited about this topic today. Yeah, I can't wait to chat more. Let me know that you can hear me okay. Hey. Awesome. Sounds like you can. Hey, Darielle. Hello, gorgeous woman. Hi. Welcome. I'm just going to wait a few more moments for a few people to jump on. Thank you for joining me throughout your day. I hope you've got a cup of tea in hand and that you're ready to have a chat. This feels like almost like a chat you would have with a bestie in some ways. So I hope it really feels like that today. And if you're on the replay, a big hello to you as well. Yeah, I'm really excited to chat more about today. I'm going to start jumping in to everything. And if we have people come on soon, then that is wonderful. And if you are here with me live and you have any questions as I'm going through, feel free to pop them below. But I'm just going to riff on a topic that, I'm really excited about. So when I am visioning or planning what sort of content I really want to share with all of you, my biggest inspiration for content is conversations with my clients. Conversations with my clients and conversations with community, all of you that, conversations that I'm having and I guess the challenges that I'm hearing over and over again, the things that come up time and time again where it's like, oh, okay, I need to speak to that because evidently this is something that is a concern or just something that is a theme that's recurring, right? And so I have found that, and for whatever reason, especially over the last few weeks, this theme of starting and building your business and feeling like your loved ones don't fully understand where you're at or what you're going through is something that has just been really common. It's been a recurring theme. It's been coming up a lot. And it's something that I really want to address because I've got a bunch of tips on this that I have shared in the past with clients and with friends that have just been so supportive and that I know have really made a difference and changed the game and been really impactful for those people that I've shared this with. So what I specifically wanted to talk about was 3 really powerful conversations that I think should be had with your loved ones, with the people in your life, when you are both starting and growing your business. So this is right for you no matter where you're at right now. You might be at the starting block. You might be in those early building stages where you feel like you're really in it. You might be, hey, beautiful Joe, you might be in the scaling stage. So you might be beyond building your business and you're really in that staging and level of growth phase. Or you might even be like 5 to 7 years in and you're, just going through a new phase in your business or a new season. So this is really relevant for you no matter where you're at, but especially in the first few years of your business, I would say. So I actually sanity checked a bunch of this with Che earlier today because I was trying to kind of remember like some of the really important conversations that we've had in the past. And he reminded me of a bunch of things that we talked about that I hadn't even remembered. And so I feel like there's a lot in this that obviously has not just been like sanity checked and road tested by me, but also by my main loved one, my significant other. So therefore, I guess there's the credibility of it not just coming from me, but also knowing that it's conversations that feel profound for your loved ones. So my point being that these are conversations that will be impactful for you, but they will also be impactful for those loved ones, right? So, okay, so just to preface this a little bit further, like I said, I hear a lot that it's like, oh, my family and friends don't understand. My family and friends don't get it. My husband doesn't doesn't get this business vision that I have, or my parents have no idea what I do. And, you know, when it comes to like parents, I've definitely said those things as well. But what I find is that we actually allow this to become an excuse, and we don't give our loved ones the opportunity to truly understand what's going on in our business, where we're at, where our headspace is at, because we're actually not investing any of the time and energy to be able to support our loved ones, to truly get our perspective, to truly see where we're coming from, to truly hear us in terms of what it is that we're trying to achieve in our business. So that is why these conversations are so incredibly important. A lot of the time we're just sort of on our own journey or our own trajectory or our own path, and we just have this expectation that they can like read our minds and see our vision and know exactly what's happening, when they absolutely cannot. So that is, I guess, something to keep in mind as we're diving into each of these 3 conversations. So hello, if you're coming on now, a big hello to you. And if you have any questions as we're going through, feel free to ask them. Yes. Okay, so first conversation that is super key and important to have with your loved ones when you're building your business. So the first conversation is sharing with those loved ones what your priorities look like right now in this moment. So whenever I talk about priorities, I always put priorities into 2 categories. You have your overarching life priorities, and these are usually tied into your values and the way that you want to live your life. So for example, in my life, in terms of my overarching life priorities, for me, other than health and wellness and taking care of myself first and foremost so that I can overflow from that place, it's family. So for me, family is the most important thing. Family and friends that are like family. Most important thing in my life personally, in terms of my priorities, my life priorities. And then it filters down. It's, you know, friends, it's my work, etc., etc. They're my life priorities, right? Does that mean, however, that in all seasons or phases, and when I'm saying that word season, I'm kind of using that word interchangeably with phases or just like periods of your life, does that mean that the amount of time spent correlates with those life priorities? No, it does not. So when you're starting, building, growing a business, as you all know, it takes a shitload of time. And that's awesome because it's choice, and it's one where we decide, all right, we make the decision and we're like, cool, I'm all in on this. So if we decide that we're all in on our business, but we don't actually share that fully, and we don't say, okay, hey, husband, friends, parents, children, this is the season, the phase that I'm in right now, and therefore in terms of my current priorities, in terms of my time, building my business needs to be number 1. It needs to be the first priority right now to develop my business, build it, get it off the ground. That means I'm going to be doing this less, or can we have a conversation about, you know, like changing our schedule so that we don't do this, or whatever it might be. So my overarching point for this first conversation is have a conversation about what your priorities look like. And I would definitely start that conversation with something along the lines of, you know, in terms of life, like, and especially if this is, you know, your partner, your significant other, you know, I know that in terms of our values, we're very much aligned that family comes first, or whatever else it might be. Right now in this season, however, I'm just not able to contribute the same amount of time that I always have previously to doing X, Y, and Z. It's not forever. It's just right now, because I know that to build up this business from nothing, that I have to demonstrate that I have to be like, okay, this is something I have to grow and build. I actually have to go all in on this. Otherwise, it's just not going to happen. So it's about realigning your priorities as they are right now. So it doesn't mean like, because I think that that's a really big thing, and I see this come up a lot. It's like, well, I just don't, and like, but family's the most important thing to me. So that means that I should always choose family first. If I chose family first in every single encounter, I would be going out for dinner with Che and my parents every single night. I don't do that. We don't do that. Does it mean that they're lower on my priority list? No, it doesn't. Doesn't mean that I say no to dinners maybe like twice a week. Yes, it does. Because otherwise my business wouldn't get any airtime, right? So, and I wouldn't get any airtime. And usually it's me saying no because I've had like a big day in the business and I need to sleep so that I can go all in again the next day, So I hope that makes sense. Maybe give me an emoji if that first one makes sense. I'm going to move on to the second conversation that I really recommend having. Okay, so the second conversation is around how your loved ones can support you. So something else that I hear a lot, road care here, something else that I hear all the time is my partner is just like not stepping up, or they know that I'm starting this business, but they're not helping me in any way, or they're not doing anything for me, or my friends know that I'm starting this business, but they're still sad at me if I can't go out on the weekend, or whatever it might be. So the really interesting thing about this is that is all a manifestation of us. It's all a projection of us. And usually it comes back to the fact that we have not communicated the support that we require, the support that we need from our loved ones, because they're not mind readers, right? So we really need to be able to communicate with our loved ones and say to them, this is how you can support me. This is how you can show up for me. This is how, this is what support looks like right now for me. This is what it is. So to give you a couple of examples, when especially like in the early year or so of my business, when I was like really all in building things, I had conversations, and I tell my clients to do this all the time, and it's always something that is really powerful. I had conversations with my family and my best girlfriends, obviously, in addition to Che, and basically said to them, this is where I'm at right now. This is what I want to do with the business. This is how I want to grow it. And that means that, coming back to life priorities, and this might be one conversation, or it might be a series of broken up conversations. I am at a point right now where I would love for you to continue to invite me to everything, but can you please just know that I'm probably not going to always be able to say yes. And I want you to know that that doesn't mean I love you any less. It just means that I really need to prioritize on this business right now. So can you please invite me, but also just honor and know that sometimes I'm going to have to say no, and just love me anyway and support me in that decision, because it's actually hard for me. And this is a really big transition for me. And I'm, moving through feelings that I don't want to feel, which may potentially be things like guilt, or fear, or shame, or, really, really strong emotions that can make it challenging to do these things. So I had that conversation with my family and my girlfriends, and they were amazing. They were like, yep, we're still going to absolutely invite you to things, but we totally understand if you can't come. I remember boat days with my family where they'd be out having the best time, and I would be working, because I just knew, like, I was just so invested in my vision, and I just knew that I just needed these extra pockets of time because I was working full time. I needed some weekend time to be able to go all in and prioritize my business. And they were great about that. Of course, they would have loved me to be there, but they were really supportive, and girlfriends where I would say, I can't make it, but thank you. And they would send me, you know, we wish you were here, but we love you, and all of those things. When I was talking about this with Che before, making sure that I was including all the right information and the most impactful and powerful things with you, something that Che said that it is so true is, he said, you know, if you are communicating powerfully and effectively over and over again, because it's not just that this is a one like set and forget conversation, it needs to be consistent, and you find that you get met with incredible resistance, or you know, your loved ones just don't respect it in any way, then they are not your people. Like, the people that really love you and care about you, if you're communicating with them in the right way, and you're doing it constantly, and you're really being clear about, hey, I love you, but then they will hold out for you during this season, this phase, this period. So I wanted to share that because I think it's important to know that, because we fear that we're going to lose those closest to us. Like, we fear it's this we grip on, we like keep this tight grip on things with because we're fearing the change, we're fearing the transformation. It's what our inner critic loves to do. And so just know that those people that are meant to stay in your world absolutely will. Yes, I have friends that have fallen away in my life, loved ones that have fallen away, but no one has fallen away that I know is meant to be in my life, you know? So that is the second conversation to have with them. Let your loved ones know how they can support you. For Che, it was asking a lot of emotional support from him. I think I remember saying to him once, like, just please, like, in those moments that I'm feeling fearful, like, just remind me I'm doing the right thing, because I've told you that I am. And we should never expect that our loved ones can see our vision like we can, because that was never my reality. I definitely had support, but we're usually the ones that are holding the torch for our vision first and foremost, right? And our loved ones are just mirroring that and supporting us in what we believe to be true, but they can't necessarily see what we can see. So that's okay. If we're placing an expectation on them that, if we're placing any expectation on them that they're supposed to see what we can see, then that's deeply unfair and just not something that we should do. So that second conversation is let your loved ones know how they can support you. And the third conversation, which ties back a little bit to what I was just sharing before, is, and this is one, and maybe I should have talked about this first, actually, because this is one that is really important, but I think it can also actually be a really scary conversation for people to have, is to own and claim your vision and share that. So another reason why often family and friends don't understand or support, visions or businesses is because maybe you're talking about, oh, my little business, or this little hobby that I'm doing on the side, or like you're talking about your business in a way that does not reflect your dream or your vision for your business. So if you're saying, oh yeah, my little side business, but yet your vision is something where it's actually calling for you to jump back onto your laptop at night, but yet your partner's not really understanding or with you on that, it might be because your words aren't reflecting the vision that you're actually wanting to create, the vision that you actually want to be your reality. It might be that you are in that fear, and you're not then powerfully showing up to own and claim your vision. So own and claim your vision really solidly, whatever that looks like for you. And it doesn't mean you have to know the end game, but just know this is where I'm at right now. This is what I know about what my vision is. And based on that, communicate that, share it. Exactly, Kate. Yeah, if we're really treating our vision like it's something smaller than it actually is, then it's going to be really hard for our partner or our family to support us in our endeavors if we're not fully sharing what they actually are. So that is the third conversation to have, is get really clear on, okay, what does my vision look like and how can I communicate that? And so you can see here how a lot of these conversations require you to step into and step beyond that fear and really show up in that and go, all right, well, what am I feeling right now? What do I want things to look like? I need to communicate this, and know that your loved ones will hold you. But if you aren't communicating that with them, maybe you're not even communicating it to yourself, then it's going to be really hard to actually make the thing happen, right? So these conversations are so powerful, not just because they will support you and they will support your relationships, but also because they'll actually support your business and help you to progress your business forward. So I've got a few more just little tidbits and tips to tie into all these conversations when it comes to speaking with your loved ones and about all of these things. And so at this point, if there's anything coming up for you, maybe share with me any questions you have or any key takeaways. Like what's the biggest thing? I always love knowing what's the biggest thing that you're learning from this. If you can share that, that would be really useful. So a couple of final thoughts on this is when I was talking about this with Che earlier, bless him, he said something you're really good at doing is that if somebody asks me to do something with them and I can't do it, so say like going out for dinner, or if someone wants to go for a coffee or whatever, I will always fully close the loop on it by offering an alternative or sharing where I'm at. So for example, if a girlfriend invites me out for coffee, I might say, I really can't do that day or that week or that month because of X, this is where I'm at in my business right now, but can you do this date? And if you find that you're not wanting to do that with certain people, then maybe the relationship is not as deeply is not something that you deeply value as much as you think you do, which is a bit of a cold hard truth, isn't it? But for people that I love and care about, who are really important to me, if they are like, hey, do you want to catch up on this day? My response will be, I really can't, but I can do this date. Can you do that? Or, hey, we boat a lot as a family. Hey, can you come out on the boat? It's going to be beautiful weather. Really can't this weekend. This next month is crazy, so let's do something next month. Does it mean that I'm not going to get pushback? Absolutely not. Especially now at this point in my business, I feel like I almost get more pushback because things are, functioning and, going really well, and my business is at a point of, being really successful consistently. And so, those, these conversations grow and shift and morph and change constantly, right? But I do believe that it's really important to close the loop on that full conversation and not just go, I can't. If it's a loved one, it's different if it's just somebody who's just jumping into your inbox out of nowhere, or, someone you don't know, or someone who's an acquaintance. But if it's a loved one, I say close the loop fully on that. Something else that is really important is, and this is another Che wisdom, I should almost have him in here with me, is have the conversations at the right time in the right way. So if, for example, it's a little bit of a joke in our household that we should never have serious conversations after 4 p.m. because neither Che or I are very in terms of like decision making. Neither of us are really on, unless I'm working, unless I'm in my business. Like if I've got a client call, I'm on. But if we're just like chilling out in our house and we're in that energy, after 4 p.m., we're just like, nah, no more of anything. So it's a bit of a joke that we just don't have serious conversations. Like the best time for us to have a serious conversation is like over the breakfast table or, you know, lunchtime or whatever. I mean, we both work from home. So we obviously have that luxury, but I think the best time to have those conversations, you know, whether it is like when the kids are asleep or, you know, maybe you word your other half up and you say something like, hey, I really want to chat about my business and where I'm at and just share more about it because I haven't really done that with you enough lately. You know, would love to chat about it tonight or, but yeah, just choosing the right time, not just for you, but obviously for them as well is incredibly important. Another big thing is allow yourself to move through guilt. So with these conversations and with building your business, it's about really trusting yourself to go all in and allowing yourself to go, yes, this is a transition. Yes, this is a transformation. Yes, this means that I am yes, this means that I am having to go first, create change, be a real generator in terms of making something happen. And in doing so, you will absolutely come up against guilt, especially, you know, we're all women, us as women, it's absolutely something that can come up for us. So I have found for me the way to eradicate that guilt, because it's just not something I ever want to feel in my body. I think it's horrendous and yeah, just not okay with feeling it. So therefore have decided that I won't, is that communication is almost like the antidote to that guilt. If you're truly owning your vision and you are communicating and you're having those conversations, then you are allowing yourself to, or rather you're allowing other people to have the opportunity to understand where you're coming from, and you're owning your preferences. And so in doing so and being really open about that, it gives you the opportunity to move through that guilt of going, okay, well, I can't do the family thing because I have to do this. And look, I'm always so aware when I speak to some of these things, like I am not a parent, so I don't know what mum guilt feels like. You know, I don't know any of that, but I have had mama clients who have had these conversations and done this process and have effectively been able to move through these things. So know that communication is the antidote to guilt in essence. All right, loves, I'm just going to do a quick recap on this. And so it doesn't look like we have any questions, which means that everything's been shared and has been helpful. So let me know if there's anything that's coming up for you that you want to ask or that you want to share. Yeah, let me know. And I am just going to do a really quick recap of the 3 conversations. So the first one is to share with your loved ones what your priorities look like. What do your new priorities look like in terms of time versus your life priorities, which is always your list of what's important to you. What is important to you in terms of your time right now and where you spend your time? Second conversation, let your loved ones know how they can support you. What do you need from them to help you move forward in where you're at in your business right now? Let them know that. They are not mind readers. Third conversation to have, let them in on your vision. Let them know what you want your business to look like, where it's headed, where you're leading it, what that is, and share that with them, because it will be really, really hard for them to support you if they don't know or understand that vision. I hope this has been incredibly helpful and that there's been some information that you've been able to get out of this to help you, have those conversations. As a final parting note, know that these conversations are never finite. They're never set and forget. They're never conversations that you have once and then you just leave it. If it's supportive to you, you can even make yourself a note in your Google Calendar for once a month to go, have I checked in with my loved ones? Do they know where I'm at? Do they know what I need? Do they know what my vision currently looks like? Do they know my priorities in terms of my time right now? It's a constant conversation in my household, that we're always talking about that because it's really, really important. I can imagine how important it would be if you have children. It's really important for me with extended family, with girlfriends, just to always be having these conversations, because ultimately our relationships are so important to us, and we want our loved ones to understand us. We want to feel seen and heard and respected and appreciated and valued and all of those beautiful things. So it's for that reason that this communication in this way is just so incredibly important. Anyway, have the most amazing rest of the day. I am going to be popping back in here next week with a really exciting announcement. There's a bunch of stuff happening in the business at the moment, and I've got an announcement coming next week that I can't wait to share with more of you, which will be really, really relevant for you if you are in more of the early building stages of your business, and especially if you are a coach. So I often get asked if I ever do anything specifically for coaches, and I've got something coming out that will be specifically for you. Big love to you all. Have the most amazing day, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye.